What if I told you that most real estate agents are building their businesses completely backwards? They're chasing leads like their hair's on fire, not mine obviously, discounting their commissions just to get a signature, and a lot of them are working 70, 80-hour work weeks while barely even scraping by. But here's what the top 1% know that nobody talks about. They don't try to capture more leads, they capture quality leads. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to build a lead funnel that converts strangers into signed listing agreements with what I call the 3 Cs. So before we jump in, if you don't know my story, I went from being a kid in group homes to being one of the top individual agents in the country and building one of the top real estate teams on the Real Trends list. We've sold over 9,500 homes, generated over $115 million in gross commission income. And I've helped thousands of agents just like you watching today, hopefully, implement this exact same system that I'm about to share. Now, before we dive into the tactics, let me tell you about Jake. Jake was one of those agents who was always busy but never profitable. He'd wake up at 5 a.m., make 200 cold calls, chase every lead that he could possibly find, and still struggle to barely close 2 deals a month. I don't know if that sounds familiar, but I also lived that life that Jake had for a while until I understood this. The problem wasn't Jake's work ethic. The problem was he was playing the wrong game entirely. See, most agents think success comes from volume. More calls, more leads, more open houses, more activity. But that's like trying to fill a bucket with a massive hole in the bottom. You can pour all the water you want, but you're never going to fill the bucket. So here's what changed everything for Jake and what's going to change everything for you, right? When you truly understand that not all leads are created equal, you have a competitive advantage. And let me repeat this because it is critical. Not all leads are created equal. You see, there's a massive difference between someone who downloads a home valuation report because they're curious at 2 a.m. in the morning and someone whose listing just expired after being on the market for 90 days. One is window shopping, the other is in pain and ready to take action. And this is where the 3 Cs come in. Every successful lead funnel has 3 components: capture, cultivate, and close. Think of it like a relationship. You meet someone, you got to get to know them, and then eventually, if there's mutual interest, you're going to take it to the next level. I always say it like this: you got to hold hands before you start making out. And some people just try to make out so fast that they're ruining the whole relationship, and they never get to that actual end game, which is to get married and start popping out little money babies all over the place. And all we want to do is have relationships that produce money babies. So let's start with how to get these money babies. First, we start with capture. Now, this isn't about casting the widest net possible. This is about being a sniper, not a machine gun. You want to attract higher quality motivated sellers into your pipeline. Now, I'm going to share some real examples from agents who have mastered this. So let's take Amanda, for instance. Amanda used to call expired listings and immediately ask for the listing. Big mistake, or the appointment even. Instead, she started offering free resources that naturally led to conversations that were produced by value. She would maybe even text someone and say, "Hey, this is Susie with XYZ Brokerage. I saw your home listing expired yesterday. I'm so sorry it didn't sell. I know that's frustrating. I have a short guide on the 5 reasons good homes don't sell and how to fix it that might be useful. No pressure at all, just a free resource to help. Would it be okay if I sent it over to you?" Just think about that text and the difference of sending that every morning instead of, "I saw your home, it came off the market. I was curious if you were still interested in selling. I'm a super agent. I help get homes sold all the time, just like everyone else that's called you this morning." So notice what she's doing here. She's not selling, she's serving. She's providing immediate value before asking for anything in return. And here's why this works so well. When someone's listing expires, and we're just giving one example, we can use this in any type of funnel, but when someone's listing expires, they're frustrated, confused, they're often embarrassed. The last thing they want is another agent calling them with a sales pitch. But when you approach with genuine help and valuable information, you're positioning yourself as a consultant, not as a salesperson. To make this even easier, just comment Beast in the comments below. I'm going to send you my free expired guide with the 5 text messages that you can use to provide value with some extra bonuses on how to leverage AI for letters and emails, all for free. Just put Beast. And you can also use this for other lead sources besides expireds. It works in a lot of different ways, but just using that as an example for this one lead source. Now, let's talk about for sale by owners. They're some of the highest quality leads you can find, but usually agents approach them completely wrong. They call up and say, hey, I saw you're selling your home. When that doesn't work out, give me a call. Or, hey, I saw that you were selling your home. Do you understand the risks involved with selling yourself? That's insulting and ineffective. Instead, here's what works. You create a for sale by owner success guide landing page, right? A squeeze page is what we call it. When for sale by owners enter their email to download the guide, you're capturing the information while providing them genuine value on how to hopefully sell it on their own. But then if they don't, you have their contact information and we provide other value to them. And we know that a large percentage, I think it's 87% of all for sale by owners that end up listing with another agent, but it's going to be the agent that was working with them, not trying to make them feel like they were working against them or that they were smarter or faster or anything better. We're there to help and provide value. So you're not trying to convince them that they can't do it themselves. You want to help them succeed. And when they realize they need a professional along the way, well, guess who's going to get that call? Now, once you've captured these leads, most agents make another fatal mistake. They either ignore them completely or they bombard them with generic marketing messages. Both approaches are business killers. Cultivation, right, the second C, is all about nurturing relationships with consistent value-driven touch points. This could be market updates, personalized video messages, handwritten notes, guides, ebooks, checklists, anything that can provide value. The key is consistency and relevance and free value. So let me tell you about Carlos. Carlos tracks struggling landlords in his market. When he sees an eviction notice filed or sees a rent reduction, he doesn't immediately call with a sales pitch of why they need to list with them. Instead, he sends a direct mail letter with a QR code that says, are you tired of managing tenants and all the pain that goes along with it? Right? Really cool visual, blah, 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 blah. I'm here to help and I can provide an instant property valuation and talk through your options or even maybe help you find another renter. Value, 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 right? He's solving their immediate pain point while capturing their information. And here's what most agents don't understand. Real estate is a long game. It's a real estate career, not a year. The average person moves every 7 to 10 years. So when someone downloads your home valuation report today, they might not be ready to sell for another 2, 3 months minimum, sometimes 4, 5 years. But just imagine what it looks like when you have an entire pipeline just cashing in on all of those relationships and value that you provided. Then every day it's just, boom, listing these 3 this week, boom, listing these 5 this week, boom, listing these 10. All of it starts to add up. But most people won't put in the front side work to get the long-term return. And that's why we're trying to build this funnel so that it can happen much faster. This doesn't mean that you're not going to start getting business immediately, but you're going to go from 2 listings a month to 4 to 6 to 10 to we have people that do 30 and 40. But if you're not providing consistent value and building trust and staying top of mind, then who do you think that they're going to call when they're ready? So this brings us to the final C, which is close. This is where confidence, scripts, market expertise, and your unique value proposition come into play. We talk a lot about this in our program, selling a program and a strategy of solutions, meaning your listing package, instead of I'm me, I'm great, list with me. That's what we call a unique value proposition. But here's the thing. If you've done the first 2 C's correctly, closing becomes super easy and it's even kind of natural. You're not convincing someone to try to work with you. You're simply helping them take the next logical step in a relationship that you've been building with value. Think about it back to the relationship thing. If you want to build a relationship, you're going to send them flowers and leave them cute notes and send them chocolates and buy them gifts and take them out and do nice things. You're not going to just be like, hey, well, may I say this wrong? Not all everyone. Hey, want to get married tomorrow? I know there's those people out there and I know it can happen, but think about the odds. You're wanting to build trust, relationship, and value. So let me tell you what happened to Jake after he implemented our 3Cs. Instead of making those 200 random cold calls, he started focusing on 20 high quality prospects. And instead of chasing anyone with a pulse, he attracted motivated sellers who were actively looking for solutions. What do you know? Within 90 days, Jake went from 2 listings a month to 6 listings a month. His income tripled, but more importantly, his stress level plummeted. There was no more anxiety of where the next deal was coming from. He started working smarter, not harder. See, here's what I really, really hope that you try to understand, and that it took me a long time. I'm not the smartest guy that I had to understand. You don't need more leads. You need better leads. You don't need to work more hours. You need to work more strategically on the front side. Think about it this way. Would you rather have 1,000 leads that convert at 1%, giving you 10 deals? Or would you rather have 100 leads that converted at 20%, giving you 20 deals? The math is simple, but most agents choose the first option because they think more is always better. If I buy more leads, if I keep getting these leads come in, if I buy from this source and if I join this team and they give me this and they give me that, it's just a numbers game. Well, it's not, because you're paying for it either in a referral fee, a split to a team. You're paying for it in some painful way because you won't take a bit of time, it's not a lot of time, to set this up on the front side. So let's talk about the compound effect of this. When you focus on quality leads and build genuine relationships, something truly magical happens. Those clients become your biggest advocates. They refer their friends, their family, and their colleagues. One quality client can turn into 5, 10, or even 20 transactions over time. Now, let me give you some practical steps so you can implement this immediately. First, identify your primary lead source. Are you going to focus on expireds, geo-farming, golden letters, the NED list, absentee owners, your ambassadors, whatever it is, your sphere? That's what we call our sphere. Pick one and master it before moving to the next. And then second, create a value-first approach for that lead source. What free resources can you offer that solves an immediate problem? And now with the wonderful world of AI, creating those value, what we call lead magnets, are so much easier to create than ever before, because we have that ability with AI, which I'll give you some information on how to do that. And then third, you got to build a systematic follow-up process that's still value-driven. This isn't about being pushy. This is about being helpful and consistent, and you're constantly providing them tools, strategy, tips, insights, so they can build wealth through real estate, and you're there to help them do that. Now, you might be thinking, Brendan, this sounds great, but how in the heck do I manage all of this? Well, that's where systems come in. Whether you're using a CRM like Follow Up Boss, Real Geeks, Chime, or the one from whatever brokerage you're with, or even if it's a simple spreadsheet or simple file folders, you need a system to track your leads, and then we've got to make sure that we build the right value follow-up. People need to digest 2 hours and 6 minutes of your value to really feel like they can trust you. Think about that. 2 hours and 6 minutes statistically. How much value are you providing to people so they end up trusting you? Or are you just going, just take my word for it, let me come over and see your house? So here's the key. Technology should enhance relationships, not replace them. We really got to be focused on this. A personalized video message will always outperform a generic email blast. A handwritten note will always stand out in a world of digital noise. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Brendan, I don't have time for this relationship building. I need deals now. I get it. I've been there. I've been in that situation. I'm right there with you. When I was starting out, I was desperate for any deal I could possibly get. But here's what I learned the hard way. Desperation repels success. When you're chasing every lead like your life depends on it, people can sense that energy, and I can tell you, it's not attractive. But when you have a pipeline full of quality leads, when you know more opportunities are coming, you show up differently. You're confident, you're consultative, and you can be a little bit more selective. And ironically, that's when people want to work with you the most. So here's something else that happens when you implement the 3 C's correctly. Your entire business transforms. You're no longer reactive and constantly putting out fires. You become proactive, building systems that work for you even when you're not working. And as your business grows, you can start to delegate and systematize even more. You can hire assistants to help with lead capture. You can create automated nurture sequences. You can build a team that operates your systems while you focus on your highest value activities, which is building trust and relationships. So here's the bigger picture. Okay. This isn't just about building your business. This is about making sure that you have a long-term quality of life so you get out of this hamster wheel of constantly chasing and you have inbound leads. I like to believe in a very, very clear frame of mind, which is called attraction listing, right? I want to attract listings to me so I don't have to chase them every day. And that comes from building the correct funnels to bring them to you. So you have a better quality of life and you can take those vacations, enjoy what you want, right? So when you have predictable lead flow, you have predictable income. When you have predictable income, that gives you freedom. And that's why you got into this business for most of us. Freedom to spend time with your family, take the vacations you deserve, and without you worrying about your business falling apart because you didn't have a chance to door knock 500 doors that week. It helps you build the life you really want. So here's a choice that you're going to need to make and decide upon at some point, right? You can keep doing what you've always done and hope for a different result, or you can really slow down, take 2 or 3 days to set up your 3 C's funnel and start building a real business. So let me leave you with one final story. A few years ago, I was working with an agent named Sarah. And Sarah had been in real estate for like 8 years, 7, 8 years, and was barely making $60,000 a year. She was working like 50, 60, 70-hour weeks, chasing every lead, constantly stressed, running around with buyers, and never could quite feel comfortable with where her next deal was coming from. So we implemented the 3 C's. It changed her entire business because once she had the 3 C's in place, within 18 months, she was earning over just over $200,000 a year, and she was working a lot fewer hours. Now, yeah, I understand that. A year and a half later, going from 65 to 200,000. Now, a little insight, her average sales price in her area was only $150,000. So that was still quite a big jump for that market. But the real transformation wasn't only financial. Sarah got her life back. She started coaching her daughter's soccer team. She took family vacations without checking her phone every 5 minutes. She built a business that served her life instead of one that consumed her life. And that's what's possible when you stop chasing and start attracting them, when you stop selling and start serving. So when you implement the 3 C's of capture, cultivate, and close, that's what the big game changer is. We got to spend more time on the upfront strategy so that we can get the long-term return. So if you found value in this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, send it to someone that might be needing to learn this right now. And let me know in the comments, what's your biggest challenge with lead generation right now? I read every comment and I'll do my best to help you out. And also don't forget to comment beast below if you want that AI expired guide that gives you the text message and all the fun stuff to build that first part of that capture and cultivate system. And just remember, if I can do it, if Sarah can do it, if Jake can do it, then so can you. It's just a process and a system. So thanks for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video.